everybody, we've been doing these videos for a while now, and they've been getting a lot of views and a lot of comments and a lot of suggestions. And one of the main suggestions we keep getting is to break down what full spectrum nutrition is. Really just break it down, get in there in the nuts and bolts and try to figure out what full spectrum really means. Totality, potency, ratio, all that. And kind of to show you the example of the multivitamin you're taking is definitely, well, more than likely not complete. And I have Dr. Whiting here, and he's pretty much an expert on full spectrum nutrition, being in it for so long, founder of the Institute of Nutritional Science. So, millions of people take incomplete vitamins every single day. There are thousands of choices on the store shelves that are incomplete. The potency is all wrong. The totality is not there. And the ratios are all wrong. Is there a simpler way to figure this out? Where do we begin, Dr. Whiting?
Well, I think you aptly said it. There's so much confusion. Somebody walks into a health food store or even a pharmacy, and they start going up and down the vitamin aisle, and they're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of bottles. And the person who's relatively new to supplementation is likely not going to have any idea what 99% of that stuff is for, or if they should take it, or if they need it or not. So let's just start with Nutrition Supplements 101. Every day, your body needs at least 100 nutrients for optimal wellness.
Yeah.
These include 17 vitamins, at least 50 trace minerals and major minerals, antioxidants, fatty acids, amino acids, and phytochemicals from plants. You might say, why do we need to supplement phytochemicals from plants? Well, that's a long story, but in a nutshell, those plants are grown on mineral deficient soils.
Yeah.
And because of that, they contain a fraction of the nutrients they did 50 or 60 years ago. Now, you combine that with the fact that a lot of people don't consume the 5 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables every day. They're lucky to get one in. Lucky. So you can begin to see that the standard American diet and the way we consume it is grossly deficient in nutrients. According to the National Institutes of Health, the average American is 50% deficient in at least 50% of the essential nutrients for optimal wellness.
Yeah.
Now, the argument that I always get, and that's a quote that I've used for years and years, and the argument I always get, in fact, when I used to go out on the road and lecture before the age of videos, I would get people ask me after a while, well, if this is so true, if we're so deficient, how come we're not dead? Well, because of 2 reasons. One, the body has an ability to adapt. Yeah. It can function on subclinical, less than optimal levels. But the alternative to that, down the road, is disease and disorder.
Yeah.
Because almost every chronic degenerative disease we know of has its origin in nutrient deficiencies over years or decades of time. Remember, when your body is young and vibrant and functioning well, it can put up with a lot more abuse than it can when you're 50 or 60 or 70. And then you begin to reap the side effects of decades of nutrient deficiency. So, where do we begin? Well, these 100 plus nutrients are oftentimes, it is necessary to take 4 or 5 or even more different supplements in order to get them. You take a vitamin major mineral supplement, you take a trace mineral supplement, you take an antioxidant supplement, you take an amino acid supplement, you take a phytonutrient supplement, and pretty soon you're in the game for $200 or $300.
Yeah.
And that's not only inconvenient, it's bloody impractical. So what I did as a chemist already several years ago is I took the 100 plus nutrients and I put them all in one bottle. And the only way I could get away with that without having the consumer to have to take 30 pills a day to get it all in, I put it in a liquid suspension. So it's a liquid delivery system. And what we discovered was not only could we get all these nutrients in one bottle, but the absorption rate of these nutrients increased dramatically because of the liquid suspension. And now we have a way of delivering the baseline of nutrients in a convenient and economical way.
Yeah. And so on top of the obvious part of convenience, like what you just said, absorption as far as a liquid in a full spectrum that has the 100 plus and the minerals, and then the capsule that's a liquid capsule that has almost the same impact. Absorption, I think, is so important for people, especially over the age of 50. And a lot of people are starting to understand why that matters. What do you think is the most important takeaway from that why that matters so much after 50, and even for those people who aren't 50?
Well, I think you hit the nail. Absorption is important. It's not what you take, folks. It's what your body can absorb. You can throw all kinds of things in there, but if you're not absorbing it and breaking it down, and it's not entering your bloodstream, and it's not available to the cells of your body, then you're wasting your time, basically. Yeah. And I'm often asked, well, who really needs a supplement? And we always talk about people over the age of 40 or 50. And the reason for that is because our ability to absorb nutrients declines with age. We're just not as efficient as we were in our youth. But if someone were to ask me, who needs a full spectrum supplement? The answer is very simple. Everyone needs one.
Yeah.
Everyone, at every age, for different reasons. The only people who don't need a full spectrum supplement for optimal wellness are no longer breathing. And so it's of little help to those folks. Too little, too late.
Yeah.
But it's really important. If you remember back when you had little kids, your pediatrician said, get these little liquid drops. I think they used to be called Poly-V-Sol or something, and squirt them under their tongue. And then all of a sudden, when our kids become teenagers, they don't need that anymore. Do you know that one of the most unhealthy group of people are teenagers?
Yeah.
In fact, I have a very good friend who works in the medical industry, and he works in the pediatric division. And just in the last few months, the rate of heart issues, heart murmurs in teenagers, which is very rare, has exploded.
Yeah, I heard that.
And that can be related back to all kinds of things: genetics, virus, and nutrient deficiencies.
Yeah, and it's so hard to cut through the misinformation too, because, just for example, the silly stuff, like one week they'll have a study that comes out that says caffeine's great for you. Have one cup of coffee a day. And then in 2 weeks they have another study that says caffeine's terrible for your heart later on. And just as something simple as caffeine, it shows how much misinformation is out there, on the different various social medias, of how much information is fed to everyone, and it's just shown to everyone as a fact when they don't really do the diligence of the research and look to a place like the Institute of Nutritional Science or look to a vitamin company who's not marketing, who's based more in science. It's so key. What would you say about to how to educate people on totality, the potency and the ratio and the consistency? What would you say to the people who have who have been fed information on all that? Misinformation.
Well, mostly it's misinformation. I know very little about social media, thank goodness. I have people who do that for me. In fact, he's sitting next to me right now. But I do know one thing. If you're going to be successful in this social media environment, it's all about how many views you get. How many views? Well, what does that mean? People are going to say and do anything and create any sensation. Whether it's true or not doesn't seem to matter to them. They're going to create sensation so they get views, because they're not in it for your well-being or for the dispensing of logical, correct information. They're in it for views. So they're using it as a marketing tool. So there's the first problem. Don't believe everything that you read on social media or the internet in general, as a general rule. The next problem is that the majority of supplements you find on the market were developed by people in the marketing department and not in the science department. What sells? What can we put a spin on? How can we market this? How can we create a sensation? How we can put fear into people if they don't take our stuff? And unfortunately, that leaves you, the consumer, not knowing what to do, which way to turn. But let me tell you, there are several things that should be important to everyone that are affected negatively by not taking a correct full spectrum product. First of all, if you're nutrient deficient, your metabolism slows down.
Yeah.
And that means that you're much more inclined to gain weight. If you're already overweight and would like to lose some, if you don't take the proper nutrients, your body will produce starvation hormones, one of which is cortisol. Yeah. There are several others. But when that happens, your metabolism slows down to a screaming halt, and you'll find losing even 1 pound is going to be a lot of work. And so, if you want to remain healthy and well, what we've done is we've so simplified this thing that you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars and have bottles and bottles on your kitchen or bathroom counter. We can give you the 100+ nutrients in one bottle. And being a liquid delivery system, which is either in a liquid now or most recently in a liquid gel cap, we've been able to put a liquid inside a capsule. And that not only keeps the absorption up, but it creates convenience for people as well.
Yeah.
And there's no reason or excuse anymore why people shouldn't be adding this to their health regime. We exercise and we try to eat right and we try to get enough sleep. But the simplest thing in the world, just taking a multivitamin that has the full spectrum of 100+ nutrients, takes you 30 seconds at most out of your day. It's one we often overlook, and that overlooking is potentially dangerous.
Yeah. Well, there it is. It's keep your body functioning at the optimal level at any age, especially over the age of 50. Better sleep, more energy, better sense of well-being. The answers are pretty simple, and they're right there. Thanks so much for watching.